Durant's been, he's had like a very, very busy summer. He's been in Asia. He's been doing, the Nike Skills Camp, and obviously
Right.
he's working on his own game. It's a pretty incredibly packed off season for a young super talent like him. What's your impression of kind of like what his goals are for this summer? And do you think that it's kind of like one of the untold stories of the new NBA players, like how incredibly packed and active their off seasons are? They're not just going to some cabin and shooting 3,000 jumpers a day.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely true. I mean, last year I know that Durant did all the same thing. He did the same China trip, and he even packed in a month of playing in Turkey in the World
Mm-hmm.
Championships. So, it's kind of like where is their off season? And I remember Kevin Durant actually, a lot of people talked to him during like the media days and stuff. Like, are you going to be tired? Are you going to wear down? He really didn't wear down. Obviously, during the season, he won his second straight scoring title, but. At some point, you kind of got to wonder when these guys are going to take a break. I mean, he spent 2 weeks in China, did the Philippines thing. He's playing in the Goodman League in Washington, D.C. every chance he gets. He's doing the Goodman League, Drew League Showdown thing. And then, like you said, he's got all these skills camps, all that type of stuff. So, I mean, kind of makes you wonder, like, you're 22 years old. You might need to slow down and just, take a week off and go to Cancun and hang out and stuff. But he's young, so I guess he's going to be able to last through it. And who knows, he may have a really long time to recover if this collective bargaining thing doesn't get straightened out. One thing I'll say is that I think Durant has been a little bit embarrassed because most people don't realize that he's the Thunder's player representative for all the negotiations, but because of all these obligations, going to China, Philippines, all that stuff, he hasn't really attended anything. He really doesn't know a whole lot about it. He didn't even know the CBA was expiring July 1st. So Nick Collison's kind of filled in as kind of the de facto guy. He's kind of gone and handled a lot of those duties, but I think Durant kind of regrets that he's been so busy with that stuff because I feel like he thinks as the leader, I should be handling that stuff. So that's one thing that all that stuff's gotten in the way of.
What do you think is the impetus for all that stuff? Because I remember talking with you at All-Star Weekend, and I was kind of wondering, why isn't Durant a bigger star? I mean, he's a big star to us basketball fans and basketball junkies, but somebody my mom has heard of is that kind of litmus test. Do you think that the origin of this is to try to make him more of a face and to really ultra promote him, or is it just because it's his nature to work really hard in the off season and do a bunch of things?
I would say it's definitely a combo of the two. I mean, he is a hard work kind of guy. I mean, he's going to want to spend every second that he's got playing competitively and trying to get a lot better. But I do think that, his agent, Aaron Goodwin, really sells a lot of guys on the fact of like, we're going to make you a lot of money in marketing. We're going to sell you as a brand. We're going to build you as that, and that's where you're going to make a lot of money. And so, in order to do that, you can't just stay here in the United States. You're going to have to brand yourself globally. You're going to have to go outside and go to China where there's, millions and billions of people, and you're going to have to go to Japan and the Philippines and really hit hard on all those places. So I think that that's a big reason, is because it's kind of been the whole game plan since Durant signed with the Goodwins as his agent, and that he's going to go out and he's going to try to become kind of a global star in the sense of LeBron and Kobe, but he's not going to do it in the way that they have, where it's like, they've tried to make themselves a business, and they've wanted to do that. Durant's kind of trying to do it in the same, he's trying to be in the middle of, I guess, what LeBron's doing and what Dirk did. Dirk's done nothing pretty much, and so I think Durant's trying to kind of bridge and stay in both of those worlds a little bit, which is going to be a really big challenge as he gets older.
Well, I mean, he's trying to expand his brand, obviously, and he's working hard to do that. Do you see him expanding his game much? I sort of am of the belief that even though he is a great player and he does many things, that he might have reached more of a ceiling on his skills than perhaps Westbrook has. Like, Westbrook has more room to grow as a player and may, in fact, surpass Durant at a certain point. What's your opinion on that? Would you agree with that statement?
I think a lot of people, the first thing that they're going to point at is that he needs to get stronger. Well, I mean, I think people need to get over that. It's not like he hasn't tried to get stronger. I mean, he's just naturally thin, and he's not going to put on weight. I mean, he's done some pretty incredible weight training stuff since he's been in the league, and he just really hasn't really bulked up a lot. I mean, that's just not his frame. That's not what he's going to do. But I think the two things that I would really point at, I mean, obviously a post game. Everybody says that for everybody. I mean, a post game is going to help any player. I mean, LeBron, it helped Kobe a lot. You take a really good player and you put him in the post, a guy that's 6'11" can shoot over anybody, is going to help him. So I think that that's almost a little too obvious to say for Durant. The two things that I would say that he could get a lot better at is, one, ball handling, because he's so long and lean that a lot of teams will send a second guard at him to kind of come and swipe at the ball. When you're that tall and you've got to dribble the ball down, get my hand in here, dribble the ball down to the ground, and it's traveling like 4 feet. So, that's really tough for him to do. He's got to learn how to kind of handle the ball better in presser situations where guys are really running and scraping and scrapping at the ball. I would say that, and then I would also say it kind of goes with that, but being kind of more of a playmaker. He improved a little bit in that, but I think he still had more turnovers this year than assists. And so I think kind of being a guy that can isolate at the top of key and not necessarily look for his own jumper, but break a defense down and set up a teammate cutting to the basket. I think that that'd be the other area that he should probably look at to get better at.